Wow, VR mode. I really want to get one of those someday. Hello everyone, I'm your host Akuma, and welcome to a bonus episode, I assume. I have no idea when this is going to come out. Right now I am going to play through some of the Croft Manor extras, the new story and probably the new expedition if I have enough time for it. I have no idea what these things are supposed to be or how long they're supposed to last. As far as I can tell, they're just like little bonus stories that you unlock as you go through the game, or maybe they were unlocked with the buying of this particular disc. I have no idea. So yeah, we're just going to jump into this. I have no idea when this is going to be uploaded. For the record, this is being recorded between episodes 14 and 15. But I was getting kind of curious about this thing, and I figured, sure, I'll check this out before I get too far into the game, and we'll see what it has. So, let's begin Blood Ties.
Final notice to Lara Croft, a current tenant of premises. This is to serve as your final notice for the purposes of terminating your ownership of Croft Manor. You are required to immediately vacate and surrender possession of said manor to Atlas de Mornay, executor of estates.
Lara, it is unfortunate that you have forced my hand in this matter, but so be it. As you know, your parents appointed me executor of the estate in the event of their absence. Since your mother disappeared, her death was never technically declared. And given the circumstances surrounding your father's death, it's no surprise that he never drafted a formal last will and testament to account for this circumstance. Unfortunately, you have no legal claims to the estate. I'm willing to negotiate a modest monthly stipend from your trust, but only if you leave the manor by week's end. Don't fight me on this, Lara. Your mother wouldn't want that. Sincerely, Atlas.
There has to be a will or some kind of evidence of what happened to Mum in the manor somewhere. Dad's safe.
This could be interesting. Okay. So we need the code.
It's got to be in Dad's papers somewhere. Maybe in the library. My birthday crown. I was so proud of that thing.
Examine to find hidden information. That's cute.
That's my handwriting. My penmanship was pretty good.
For that age, yeah. So this is going to be interesting, just to explore all of Croft Manor. And she did say in the main game that she couldn't go back, and Anna knows why, or Anna, whatever. So this will be good to know.
Dad's map of the forgotten cities of northern Syria. He was closer than he knew to finding the Prophet's tomb.
Well, that's sad. Once again, I'm not entirely convinced that his death was suicidal. What have we got there? Nothing really, I guess. Oh, hello.
Dad's book about immortality myths might be useful in my research.
Okay. Also, I have been told that this takes place between the prologue and the beginning of the main game, so to speak, so that'll be an interesting placement.
Well, this is a hell of a thing. I met someone tonight quite unexpectedly. But it shouldn't have been, it seems. I've been so buried in my work, so distracted by my latest revelations, I never bothered to notice my surroundings. But there she was, sitting at my table in the library. Her name is Amelia. And apparently she's been studying right next to me. Art history, of all things. I shared some of my research against my better judgment, but I wanted to see how she would respond, and she did not disappoint. I felt as if I was suddenly engaged in a mental game of chess, moving and counter-moving in argument. At one point, that poor old librarian had to shush us as if we were children. I feel so foolish for not having noticed her earlier. She's a brilliant woman who's challenged my ideas for the first time in memory. In truth, I don't know if she's feeling as exhilarated as I am right now, but I dare say our conversation was mutually stimulating. For the first time in a long time, I find myself thinking about something else besides my research. I hope she returns for another round tomorrow.
That's really cool. She always knew that her parents met at Oxford, but never the circumstances. Just like Dad to argue mythology as a way to flirt. That is adorable.
My parents made a good team, challenging each other from the start.
Also, I just got a feel from that getting that particular recording that I never got in the original game. All these little audio recordings, they remind me a lot of the ones from Batman Arkham games. Or at least the first one. I don't know why I never made that connection before.
Dad would have liked me to go to Oxford, but I insisted on UCL. Yep, looks real. Roth once offered to forge me a fake diploma to show Dad.
Nothing really. Surely the safe combination wouldn't be this easy to find, would it?
A picture with Dad and Anna. Never liked wearing dresses, but the color was nice.
Looks like a shirt you'll be wearing in a few years too. Let's examine her dad's bust.
This is probably my grandfather Benjamin.
Ancestor's legacy. Like, is there something about it, or not really? It didn't say examine to find hidden information, but I think if the game gave me the combination that easily, it wouldn't be all that interesting.
I finally introduced Richard to the family. It went precisely how I imagined. I see but polite grace from mother, indifference and disinterest from father, and thinly veiled contempt from Atlas. Of course they don't approve. To them, Lord Croft is the man who took away their beloved daughter and ruined her long-standing engagement, though I was never going to marry that repugnant Earl of Farringdon anyway. One might think they would be happy that I was being courted by a genuine lord of the realm. It just happens to be Richard Croft. In their eyes, the man who single-handedly ruined a once great family. But there's nothing to be done now. Watching how Richard dealt with their subtle insults and disrespect. Such grace and calm. I know he did it for me. I think I'm falling in love with this man. It will break my mother's heart, but I cannot live the life she imagined for me. My time with Richard has only made this clearer.
She was crushing on him so hard, it's really adorable.
It must have been hard for Mum to go against her family's wishes. I'm glad she did.
Is that your mother up there? Is there a way to zoom in and check? Not really, not unless I have a weapon drawn, which I don't have any. Because why would I?
One of Dad's Yoruba masks. A gift from a friend he met on an expedition in Nigeria.
It does look rather African in some way. I don't know how, but it does. Okay, so I think that's everything in this room cleared out. Why would he have the safe combination in his papers?
This is the map I made for my first expedition with Dad. It shows a path to the library through the servants' passages.
That's really well drawn for a kid of her age, however old she was at the time. Oh, expedition map 1 of 2. So if I follow that, will I get something? Oh, wait a second. It starts up in her dad's room, and then it goes down into somewhere. Well, there might be something there. Find the entrance to the servants' passages using Lara's childhood expedition map, and it's part of the...
The door to the library.
Okay. Which is locked for some reason?
Locked. There's got to be another way through.
Oh, she did say the path to the library through the servants' passages, so that's where we want to get to eventually. Holy crap. Is that? Okay. So it's carrying over some of the abilities that I have in the previous game, I believe. And this?
Dad's artifacts from the Nile Valley. I always love looking at these.
Well, you get to look at it again.
Dad became interested in immortality myths after his expeditions to Egypt.
I wonder what happened in Egypt then. Now, they obviously want me to go through the wall. It's very obvious there's something there, too. But what else do we have around here? Here's something.
Hi, Dad. I've been thinking about Mum lately. I wish I knew more about her. How did you meet? What was she like? Winston told me that she was a brilliant artist. Are some of her paintings locked up in the West Wing? And I guess I just want to know, did she love me, Dad? Did she ever say that she did? Maybe I'm just being silly. But will you tell me more about her the next time I'm home from school?
And considering his reluctance, it was probably the best thing to do to write a letter to Dad so that they wouldn't have to go over that interaction face to face. Was that intentional? I don't know. It's probably for the best. She always has the best backgrounds on her computers. But still, gotta find that will. Gotta find that will. Anything about this guy?
Well, hello there, Sir Lancelot. Don't worry, I won't be boring your sword this time.
Does Lara have any skill in swordplay? I wouldn't think so, but then I wouldn't imagine that Professor Layton does either, and he does.
The Grand Hall. Always loved playing in here as a kid. This will be one of the first things to fix.
Yeah, probably. So, just so I'm aware of this, Survival Instincts probably wants me to go back in that direction. But I can interact with the piano? Was that a piano? No, is that a cupboard? Okay. Didn't even get close enough to highlight it. Makes me wonder what else I've missed. Nothing in here? Oh, there's... No, that's just the light. I should probably do this to figure out anything that I could have missed. Looks like I can investigate these boxes?
Wait, I
Or
can
not.
get to the library through the old servants' corridor.
Yeah, I know, but do I want to? Right now? I mean, that was my objective, but is that my ultimate objective? Or part of it?
Lara, I've reviewed the report from your therapist. I have to say I was surprised to see a clean bill of health. I somehow doubt you've so easily abandoned your irrational claims. Indeed, where have you been the past few weeks? My secretary discovered that you booked a flight to Turkey on the 20th. You can't have been simply sightseeing, as your customs claims suggest. I know you're up to something, and I'll be damned if I let you use the Croft assets to indulge the same obsession that led to my sister's death. It's not too late to relinquish your claims on the manor voluntarily. If you refuse, I will find a way to cut you off. Sincerely, Atlas.
I don't know how I feel about keeping this old manor, but one thing is clear to me, I need Uncle Atlas out of my life for good. Also, I haven't been reading her previous notes, I think. But why does he want this manor so badly? I understand why Lara wants to keep it, but why does he want it? Well, more stuff over here to investigate. Such story to get in here. Oh, hi there.
A phoenix figurine. I bet this appealed to Dad's idea of immortality, of rising from the ashes and being born anew.
It's really hard for me to see. Okay, there it is. Looked more like a hydra. Also, not how I imagine phoenixes to look like. Hello, cupboard! So really, you just want to do this for the story purposes, if you want to learn more about the Croft family. Well, come on, pick it up.
This belongs to Anna. Most of her belongings are in the guest house. What was she doing in here?
Okay.
Someone has a sense of humor.
Love R. Was that the name of her associate in Trinity? Oh, really? Oh, really? Okay. Yes. That might be where the combination to the safe is, too.
Lara, you know the West Wing is off limits.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to see...
We've been through this.
Was Mum's room in here?
Just stay out of there, darling.
Dad was always so protective of the West Wing.
That's concerning. Of course we can't get in so easily.
Locked. Need a key to open this.
That might be where what we get by going through all that stuff. I wonder if it's in the safe, perhaps. Would he lock the master key in the safe? That seems...
What are you doing sitting there on the floor, Mistress Lara?
Looking at the compass, thinking.
What about, if I may inquire?
Just thinking about discovering faraway places, about finding adventure.
I'm sure you will, my lady. You've the soul of an explorer, but don't grow up too fast.
There's also a Pokeball in the middle of the compass. Albeit an old one. Come on, investigate the thing.
The offer came in the post last week, and I still haven't told Richard. He flew ahead to Tibet, where I will meet him shortly. I never told him I was submitting my work. Never thought there was a chance of being accepted. Oh, but a gallery tour is not something I can pass up. The show will take me away from England for over a year. I'll begin in New York and travel across the United States and, oh, God, I'm giddy even writing these words. When Richard and I were married, I was prepared to relegate my painting to a hobby, but it was Richard who objected, who gave me my atelier and studio. Without that support, I might still be painting boring landscapes. Now I can't shake the foolish sensation that leaving would be a betrayal. He will laugh at that and insist I accept, even though I know it will break his heart to be apart. He never once asked me to sacrifice any part of my life for his. I have, of course, in 1,000 small ways over the years, but he would never ask. The discussion can wait, and I will join him in Tibet. I won't cast a shadow over his find. I will be by his side in his triumph, as I know he will stand by my side, in time.
Wow. Also, cool guy. I like him. Can't say more on that, though. Couple things over here.
Hey, Jonah. Sorry for not getting back to you sooner. I've decided to do some research at the manor. A lot has happened, and I need some time to think about what I want to do next. This old place is filled with memories and secrets. Uncle Atlas has tried to keep me out of here for so long, I don't even know if I want to keep it. But after everything that's happened, maybe I can find out what it still means to me. If it's worth fighting him for, I'll let you know how things worked out when I'm back in London.
So she knows that she needs to research here, but she doesn't know why she would want to? Okay. That's fair. I was gonna say, if this one was
Got
locked...
to remember to pack this for my next trip.
Yeah, if that thing was locked, I would be super concerned about her ability to open anything in the future. Oh, so... the flashlight will turn on
Should be able
automatically.
to explore the dark now.
Ah! So now I can actually explore the Servant's Passage. Alright, cool. And there's probably nothing else down here? Oh, there's something in the distance. Man, everything's boarded up.
Not sure. I really need to brush up on my ancestors one of these days.
Victorian era, I believe. Or so I assume was based on the frills. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I am not a history major. Nor am I very inclined to remember such things. Kind of a shame I never got deep into all that stuff. Missed opportunity.
Lara, since your return from your expedition to Yamatai, I've grown increasingly alarmed at your erratic behavior. I can only assume you suffered some kind of psychological trauma and are only acting out as a call for help. I want you to know that I hear you, loud and clear. Anna and I agree that it's time for you to be evaluated by a professional. I took the liberty of arranging an introduction to a highly qualified colleague of mine. You should be receiving the details in the post soon. I want to impress upon you the importance of this, Lara. As executor of the estate, it is my duty to see that it is left in capable hands. And if I may be blunt, you're acting like your father when he was at his worst. He nearly lost the manor himself in those days. I'd hate for you to repeat his mistakes. I encourage you to embrace the help I'm offering. Sincerely, your uncle.
His first attempt at trying to cut her off from the manor. It backfired, though. I wasn't as crazy as he believed. Thank goodness. I can understand after all that stuff why she seemed to go crazy. Open up this glowing case and find... a spare tire?
Another one of Dad's immortality artifacts. I think Roth bought this for him from a trader in Greece.
Not sure why, and it doesn't look familiar in any way. But she knows more than I do, so I'll just take her word on it. That rock almost looks like it's glowing, but I know better. And of course, there's nothing back in here. Of course not. Again, master key. I probably overlooked some doors. I've opened all the ones that I could see. So now we go back into the servants' quarters, or try to cut through the wall, which we will be doing next episode. So yeah, or you know, whatever the episode is called. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I will see you next time on whenever. I don't even know what to call this thing. It's the Manor episodes. See you then, everyone. Take care.